your socks off. He's a little kid, but he knows what he's talking about. His family's been in hard money loans and commercial property financing for years. And man, this episode of the Vastcast is going to blow your socks off. Jake, thanks for coming, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, let's get right to it. We have about 25 minutes where we're going to add value to our both viewers and listeners. So what's the number one thing that you can do that you found that can help commercial property, borrowers or investors to make money?
Yeah, so I'd say utilizing debt with their investments is probably the most important thing that I've noticed for commercial investors.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's a fund, whether that's an individual, it's important to leverage your money so you can get amplified returns and really grow faster. And us with our commercial property finance division now, we specialize in that, and we have really just a lot of different people within the department that specialize in helping borrowers, find the best loan, find the best type of loan, and we just have such a kind of varied resources to help our borrowers. We have a platform partner with about 750 lenders. And then if that platform partner is unable to fund any loans, then we're able to go off platform and contact lenders separately. We work on some exotic financing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're working on an unsecured single family rental focused line of credit that's really unheard of to get. And we found that for one of our clients, and he's really happy with it. So yeah, I just say that finding the right financing solution is one of the most important things that a real estate investor can do.
Yeah, so they can leverage their money. It's better to use other people's money, and if you can get bank financing, which now you brought up something, I'm glad you brought that up. Jake Goldfarb, smart dude. So tell me about this. Very, very well timed, by the way, for this show. Tell me a little bit about that line of credit, because I guess what you're saying is the client in this circumstance is a doctor. He doesn't have to go for financing a new property. He already has that line of credit,
Yeah,
and I think the minimum is 10 million. But anyway, go into a little bit more depth so people out there understand that, because that's a huge added value to people.
yeah, absolutely. So we have a relationship with lender back east, and one of their specialties is single family financing. And basically, what this product is it's an unsecured line of credit. So there is some collateral in the sense that the properties that he's purchased, um, and he's purchasing, excuse me, are being used as collateral.
Mm-hmm.
But if he were to, let's say, God forbid, the economy turns and he defaults on the line of credit. And what a line of credit is it's basically a cash reserve that you're able to pull from at any given moment,
Mm-hmm.
and then you only pay interest on the sum of money that you pull from it. So in this case, it's $10 million line, and let's say that he pulls out $1 million one month to go and buy four properties, um, and he puts a quarter million down on each property. So he's only paying interest on that 1 million, not the entire sum of 10 million, like he would be with a traditional loan. So it's really advantageous for him because he's an active investor, um, but he doesn't need to. He's buying multiple different properties every single month, so he doesn't need to take one large loan of say 10 million in this case. So that's really the advantage with the line of credit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this one, I mean, I haven't even heard of one like this because it's unsecured. So there's no collateral on his other properties, his existing portfolio, and he already has a large portfolio, separately from, and he actually obtained that portfolio with he. We weren't doing business with him at that point, but that came beforehand. So that's why he's an experienced investor and is eligible for this line of credit. But that's basically what a line of credit is, and it's a great financial product. Again, it can really help a lot of investors grow.
Yeah, so I would kind of typify you as kind of a consultant versus kind of a sales guy. So I'm going to assume people can reach out to you and kind of you can go over some ideas with them, kind of exotic as you use the term, some exotic kind of consultation with respect to people's finances or specifically commercial real
Yeah,
estate. Is that the case? And then
absolutely.
yeah, that's what I thought. How does someone get a hold of you?
So you can reach me at jake@vastsolutionsgroup.com, or give me a call on my dial pad number, which is attached to that email. But just start with emailing me at jake@bassolutions.com. We'll schedule a consultation, and we can kind of discuss the different options out there.
Yeah, sweet. Jake at vastsolutionsgroup.com. Okay, let me ask a couple more questions as it relates to maybe not that client, but other exotic solutions. Obviously there's a lot of builders out there. A lot of our clients are builders, and they want to know, and when I say builders, meaning developers, I should say, real estate developers. What are some other kind of solutions that are out of the box that you have found that have helped some clients and maybe can help some of our listeners and viewers out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it didn't used to be super out of the box, but right now with the current interest rate environment, construction loans are very hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the loans that we're assisting our clients with are construction loans, just because it's hard to get a deal to pencil right now with interest rates being higher, and lenders are tighter on what deals are actually doing. But a construction loan, it's actually a pretty common type of loan, but it's very important for builders, and it's kind of the most risky one for lenders to do. But basically, a construction loan is meant to assist in the development of a property. So, we're talking you have maybe a lot with an existing building on it, an old building that's going to be torn down, and then a new one is going to be put up,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even just an empty lot. You have a building that's permitted, that's ready to break soil, um, but they don't have financing to actually construct the building. So this is used for all of the materials, the whatever equipment is needed to come onto the property and actually put up the building.
Mm-hmm.
And construction loans are done by using what's called a draw schedule. So let's say you're doing give an example. We're doing in Portland right now, an $11 million construction loan. You'll usually have monthly draws where the lender comes to inspect the property
Mm-hmm.
while you're building the or while the developer is building the property,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're not given the entire lump sum all at once like a traditional loan up front.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you use a draw schedule, and the lender inspects the property monthly, to make sure that everything is on track, and that everything is going smoothly, so that in case something goes south, God forbid, then they don't lose all their money. They just lose a portion of it. Um, so yeah, that's one of the loans that we've really been active with recently, and we've been doing a lot of construction loans.
Yeah, construction loans
Um,
are hard. So that's saying something. I'm glad you've been able to do that because that's a big deal. Because a lot of banks aren't doing construction loans, like you were talking about. Our platform partner, we have at least a couple.
yeah,
One
banks
specifically.
particularly. I mean, a lot of it is debt funds, family offices. Sometimes these are lenders who want to get larger returns on their money, but are willing to take a little bit more risk, and therefore are willing to take more. So um, another finance solution we've been working on are just traditional bridge loans, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't super exotic, but it's very important for our clients. An example is we have a really experienced developer in the Northwest who has a project in Spokane, and he needs a hard money bridge loan of about $2 million, because they're currently in the process for HUD. Well, while I'm talking about it, this is another one I can talk about. So a HUD loan is it's basically a government subsidized program, where you get lower interest rates, longer term. So it's great for developers. But the only catch is you have to wait even longer than a traditional loan, and a lot of traditional loans take 2 or 3 months. So this guy is currently waiting for his HUD loan to go through, and so you have to meet with the government. You have to meet with I think some local municipalities. It's a long process, as well as the lender is actually doing the loan for you, and it takes about 9 months. But he has some other debt on the property. He has like a $400,000 hard money loan that's accruing interest at some like 20% right now because he's almost in default. And basically, he needs this bridge loan to get him to the point where the HUD loan is funded, and that capital is accessible to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, he'll just use the money from the HUD loan to pay off that hard money bridge loan. But the big advantage with these types of deals is that we can work with a hard money lender and close these within a week because it's
Yeah.
just a private individual. They're not subject to all of the underwriting regulation. Um, and all of the you know, all of the processes that a regular bank or even a fund is subject to. So it's really helpful for lenders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, excuse me, it's really helpful for developers,
Developers.
but for you're going to be paying much higher interest on these loans because they're higher risk, and that speed comes with a cost. So yeah, that's a few ones. Just kind of thinking out loud about them, but that's a few ones that come to the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, for kind of some of the viewers and listeners out there, number one, we have there's construction loans, not only here, but also you do consulting in general. But there's construction loans that are out there still. There's money in play there, which is awesome. And leveraging other people's assets, that makes a lot of sense. Hence the reason you're advocating of people getting loans for commercial property. Also, it sounds like you're a little
Yeah,
bit quicker. Like nowadays, we could get loans a little bit quicker in the marketplace than waiting for 9, 10 months. But
yeah,
there's a
with a home
cost. I
loan
think that's a
escrow.
good point. There's a cost associated with that,
Yep,
meaning because the speed, et cetera, et cetera. There's not a marketplace in some instances, and you've been able to get it a little bit quicker than others. So hey, would you rather pay a little bit more and have a deal versus pay zero and not have a deal? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's really the question is whether or not you want quick financing. You're going to pay a little bit more in interest,
Mm-hmm.
but it does come with a cost, and that's something that needs to be emphasized to borrowers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's okay? We've gone over a lot in a short amount of time. What's one more thing, kind of one more added value thing with respect to commercial property real estate that's out there that people should know about? If they could be either a brand new real estate investor, brand new commercial real estate investor, or they could be a seasoned one, right? Give me one last thing that someone could walk away with that's in that spectrum, anywhere in that spectrum.
I would say one that I am just recently starting to learn a little bit more about is something called historical tax credits.
Oh, look at you!
Um, so depending on where you're doing a project, let's take in Seattle where we live. Maybe you're doing a project in what's called SoDo, south of the Dome. It's just an industrial region in Seattle. The government will actually give you tax credits, and that can go to a portion of that down payment that you're going to need to make, and if you're also utilizing debt on that project. So I think that's can almost be like a hidden gem for developers depending on where they're doing their projects. Um, One of the developers we're working with, he used a lot of historic tax credits in Portland on his previous projects, and I won't name any in specific, but they're great projects, and it really helped him come up with that money for that initial down payment that he needed, in order to get started. So I'd say that's something to look into, because it can really just be, a way to kind of corral all the money to get that down payment easier.
Dude, you blow my mind, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you knew that, but that's exactly right. One of my buddies is one of the biggest in the country at that, at
Oh,
historical
okay. Well,
credits. Oh my gosh, I got to get you in touch with them. No, nobody knows about that. So for
yeah.
the
Well, I
listeners,
didn't either. I didn't either until about a week ago, and they're definitely really interesting, and I'm still learning really how they work. But I was shocked that there kind of be just like a hidden subsidy like that can be really
100%.
helpful for them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get you in touch with them. So, man, we've already gone over, leverage, the concept of leverage, construction loans, and tax credits, historical tax credits, and their zone
Yep.
tax credits too. Holy mackerel!
I think I've heard of
Wow,
those as
in
well.
just a
Yeah.
few minutes, we've gone over a lot. Hey, what I'm
Yeah.
going to say is because we don't have a lot of time, I want the viewers and listeners out there to, get a hold of you if they want information. Again, I don't want you to be a sales guy. You're not a really a sales guy. You're a consultant. So if people want to get a hold of you, once again, how do they reach you?
You can email me at jake@basssolutionsgroup.com, and then we can set up a call and discuss the options that are out there.
Nice. All right, guys. This has been the Vast Voice. We're telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. My name is Kenneth French with VastSolutionsGroup.com. If this doesn't add value, if this doesn't put money in your pocket, there's an issue, man. Because by the way, tax credits. I have my buddy that I was just mentioning. He got money in his pocket. He bought a huge building in a I'll say relatively big city. He put money in his pocket. He didn't have to have any cash outlay, and he'd only done a couple of projects before. So what I would
Hmm.
say is the idea you gave actually doesn't cost any money. As a matter of fact, it puts money in your pocket as a real estate investor. So you're really
That's
using
huge.
other people's money. So once again, I really appreciate you, Jake, and everyone who's watched and listened to this. Again, you're with Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. It's Kenner French, vastsolutionsgroup.com. Thanks,
Thank you guys. Thank you, Ken.
dude. Nice.